Welcome to The System Works, the lifestyle channel that shows you a practical way to live, the what's in it for you. The System Works. Own it. Welcome to The System Works. I'm your host, Ernest Phillips, and today we get to do a book review on OCD Hiding in Plain Sight by Andrea Brown. So this book is another amazing story. It's another book that you can find on firewalkerpublishing.com. And these are the stories that will just, in my opinion, they just blow your mind. So I'm going to jump right into the jacket and read this. So, one of Andrea's earliest memories was lying still in bed, waiting to be assaulted by the person hiding in her home. The catch was, no one was ever in her home. But the fear only grew bigger as she grew older. From the outside, Andrea has always appeared high-functioning, well-organized, and a hard worker. No one has ever noticed how many times she checks locks, cleans until she's shaking, or that she can never be alone in the dark. It wasn't until she was 24 that she was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder that everything started to make sense. Throughout her treatment, Andrea has multiple barriers arise revolving around lack of safety, including a life-changing dog attack. While digging deeper into her childhood, Andrea looks to find the incidents and the patterns that lead to her obsessions and compulsions becoming so severe. Will she push through the anger about all she lost during her childhood, or will she let the anger take over her life and refuse to get better? This memoir tells her story. Okay, so let me just give you some context to this. This is an individual. She grew up in a small town, Iowa, two-parent home. You would have not ever even thought anything. No trauma, no major incident, and yet she developed OCD, this obsessive compulsive disorder. So I don't know if you can see a picture of her in the corner. This is how old she was when she first remembers having these issues, having these thoughts. So she's going along and she's having these terrifying thoughts over and over and over that someone is going to assault her, attack her, kidnap her, horrible things. And yet she was able to find all of these different things, all these different steps that she would take to try to get some sort of sense of safety in order to function, in order to go through life, in order to go to school, in order to get good grades. This is a girl who grows up and goes to college. She graduates college in 3 years, high functioning. Then at age 24, she gets diagnosed with OCD. Okay, so here's the thing. Wow, great. It explains everything. It explains her life. All these things that have been going on in her life now have an explanation. There is a title to it. There's a reason behind it. And now comes an even bigger issue. What does she do about it then? Great, now you know the why, but what do you do with the why? And so this book chronicles this whole process of her going through therapy and counseling and what she did and how it manifests in her life. And so I'm going to read you, I got 4 different spots and I'm going to read from because it's amazing. So one of the other things that she was told to do is to write out what she calls a thought log. These are the logs of the intrusive thoughts, the ones that are coming in that are powerful, that she is responding to. And so throughout the book, you get to hear and read and experience what she was going through in real time. So we'll open with one of the thought logs. Thought log. Concerned about the man walking towards me, thought he was going to kill me. Pretty basic, right? I mean, no, that's not basic. And this is something that goes through her mind. Thought log, worried about constant headaches and neck pain. Completed a check online to verify health. Because every time she had a thought log, every time she had one of these intrusive thoughts, she is trying to do things to combat it. So I'm a big fan of starting small and then working her way up. Once I get inside, the fear sets in that I will always feel on these nights. The fear won't leave until I go to work tomorrow. My head starts to have the same thought that will revolve all night. You won't make it out alive. You won't make it out alive. You won't make it out alive. I have no hope of surviving, but I need to do what I can to protect myself. I lock the back door and set the alarm. I check the closet, then the hallway bathroom. As I walk towards the basement, I turn to make sure the back door is still locked and the alarm is still set. Thought log. What if someone is behind you and unlock the door to let someone in? I turn around again and walk back to make sure the alarm is still set. Okay, it's still locked, so I can keep going. I push in the doorstop into the basement door as far as I can go to check to make sure no one is down there. Thought log. Has it been moved since this morning? What if someone is down there waiting while someone else put it back and is now hiding in the rest of the house? Can you imagine living that way? Can you imagine that? If you are one of the people who has suffered from OCD, this compulsion, you know it's way more than just, oh, my numbers need to match, or, oh, there's a painting and I need to make sure it's square. I don't like odd numbers. I need things even. Compulsion, it is there and it's happening. It's over and over and over again. It's not something that you get to say, oh, I don't want this to happen and now I'm not going to think about it. That is why it is the disease. That is why individuals who are out there that have this. So this is a huge reason of why she wrote this book, is to bring awareness that there is more than one type of OCD. There are a lot of different types and manifestations of OCD. It's the compulsion. It's the obsessive compulsion. It's right there in the diagnosis. So this is what she was dealing with, and she didn't know. So she didn't know to tell her parents. She didn't know to tell her friends. This was just something inside her. And here's the other thing about this. She didn't want anybody else to know. She didn't want anyone to know. When you have something going on inside, you're not walking around saying, oh, hey, I just thought I'd let you know. This is what I do every day. This is what I do. No, you're sitting there going, I feel crazy. And if I tell anybody, they're going to think I'm crazy. I'm not going to be able to keep a job. No one's going to hire me. No one is going to love me. And boom, now that obsessive compulsion is just going to go rampant. Okay, I'm going to read another part from the book. And by the way, as she's going through this, she's married. She gets married and has a husband, and she's dealing with all this. So so she talks about her counselor, and this section is called miscellaneous compulsions. Wanda lets out a sigh, indicating that we have another big category coming up that I'm going to fail at. All right, this category is miscellaneous compulsions, and the second to last one. Thank goodness we're almost done with this torture. The first one is doing mental rituals like repeating good thoughts, which we already talked about that one, right? I nod my head. All right, the second is seeking reassurance. Wanda had me do a codependency test a while back, so we both know the answer to this one. Yes, I do that all the time with Cody. I'm always worried he'll be mad at me or the things I do will have some huge effect on him. I'm always apologizing or telling him things that I've done, then apologize for them. He never even cares and is always reminding me that I don't need to apologize all the time. Does Cody ever make you feel like you need to apologize, or he has gotten mad at the things you've done? Thought log. I'm a terrible wife. People think Cody is a bad husband because I'm so messed up. I answer, no, not at all. We continue through the rest of the list with Wanda placing more and more check marks. I feel exhausted and broken all over again. On one hand, it's nice to know how many OCD behaviors I do, but I never would have thought there would be so many. I thought I only had one or two to handle. Now I have a whole list of things to overcome. Can you imagine? I can't. I really can't. I have had my own issues. I have had depression. I suffer from ADHD. And I went through most of my life as undiagnosed ADHD. I've had suicidal tendencies. But I've not had this. And I can't even imagine. But if you read the book, it will help you see what someone else's life can be like. So, all right, I got one more section I want you to hear. Thought log. You're a terrible person. You have all these terrible beliefs. You shouldn't be working with people. I'm not going to even give you the context of where that is. That is a thought log. Now, a lot of people feel that. They feel like we are not good enough. We feel unworthy. We feel like people don't like us. We think that we're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, handsome enough, tall enough. But this is a deeper level. And this one, that thought log hit her. She is a terrible person. That's beyond just feeling unworthy. So, if you want an amazing story of courage, and if you want to hear an amazing story, because I'll tell you what, the ending of the book, she does all the things she needs to do, and she overcomes the diagnosis. She gets to the point where her counselor identifies her and says, you no longer fit the category, the description, the diagnosis of OCD. Can you imagine? This is why this story is so awesome and why I encourage people to do it and read it, because it'll show you what you can do, and it'll show you an example, not the standard, but an example of what can be done. So read the book. Again, you can find it at firewalkerpublishing.com, and buy the book and make a comment on the website. She loves hearing great responses. And if you happen to catch her at one of her book tours and book events, she is just an amazing human being, and I'm glad to know her. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The System Works. Have fun with the action steps. Enjoy the Wi-Fis. Click like, click subscribe, and comment. The good and the bad, we like them all. We look forward to seeing you next time. The System Works. Own it.